Hi there, this is Wolfhound-Nine, and today I'll be doing a review of the Ace-52 CQB. In the real world, it's a variant of the Galil Ace, the successor to the famous Galil assault rifles. You might note that there are several variants of the Ace rifles in Battlefield 4. In the game, it's in the middle of the carbine class as your fifth unlock. I think it's one of the best close combat weapons in Battlefield 4 if you disregard shotguns, and you'll find yourself absolutely dominating with this gun if you use it right. Why is that? Its unique damage model. You do a whopping 34 damage up to 5 meters, and this drops off down to 20 damage at around 50 meters. This means it only takes 3 hits to kill if you're close enough. This also makes its rate of fire of 650 rounds per minute reasonably impressive, since that's quite high for its damage output. That said, it's the damage model that makes this gun so good. Everything else is kind of a mixed bag. For one, it's got heavy recoil both vertically and horizontally, and even though it has symmetrical horizontal recoil, it's still a kicker. You'll find this weapon difficult to control at medium to long range. It's also hand in hand with the ACWR, tied for the second highest first shot modifier in the carbine class. Exacerbating this problem is its super low muzzle velocity. It's actually got the lowest muzzle velocity in the entire class of weapons, and even certain pistols put it to shame. This will mean that you'll have to lead targets by a huge margin at longer ranges. It's helpful that it is a modest 25 round magazine. It's not a lot of rounds, but with how hard it hits, it's more than enough. The problem is that it has a long reload that'll force you to carry a reliable secondary weapon. You can and probably will rack up some deaths purely because you got caught mid-reload with this gun, especially since you'll be using it in close quarters combat. The only other thing to note is its spread, which is entirely average for the carbine class. We'll be changing that up with some attachments though. For the AK-5C and the ACWR, I suggested attachments to make them useful outside their normal effective range. I won't bother with the Ace-52 CQB because it just doesn't work. I tried initially to use an angled foregrip coupled with a compensator to make it viable at medium ranges, and I didn't have much luck. Even if you can wrangle the recoil, you'll be stuck dealing with a low muzzle velocity and a high vertical climb. It's when you fully accept this weapon's role that you'll begin to excel with it. For one, go ahead and put a silencer on it because it already sports a terrible muzzle velocity. Next, pick the laser light combo when it's available, and go with the laser until then. Finally, throw a vertical foregrip on it. Once you've done that, you have a weapon that has a great hipfire and doesn't put you on the minimap. How best to use it? This gun is very specialized. I had modest success with it when I was using it as an assault or support, and very little as an engineer. What worked best is when I ran around as recon, using the motion balls and the tugs to figure out where everyone was so I could flank them. This lets you get up close and pick people off before they can react. You can do this with any gun, but the Ace-52 is a great choice. With the silencer, people don't tend to notice you, and even if they do, you have all the advantage. The time to kill on this gun is extremely low. It's also very hard to turn on you, since by the time they realize they're getting shot at, they're probably already dead. I will say that you should pick a good secondary that you're comfortable with. Get used to pulling back quickly when you're reloading, then re-engaging. This weapon isn't going to be as easy to use as the AK-5C or the ACWR, but it will reward you for learning it. When you start going on streaks with it, it'll feel great. That about covers it, and also ends my look at the carbine class for the time being. The 3 guns I've covered are my choices for quote-unquote the best. Next up I'll cover assault rifles, which is a little less clear-cut than carbines and probably will be a bit more involved. With that out of the way, let me know in the comments section if you had any luck with the Ace-52. I'd also like to know if there are any carbines I didn't cover that you personally like a lot. I'm curious to see what people are using and enjoying. I originally thought the Ace-52 was really bad until I gave it a chance personally, and maybe there are a few more that I haven't given enough of a try. If there are, I'm going to make sure to come back and give them a review once I learn about them. With that said, I hope you found this useful, and maybe give it a like and a favorite if you did, and cheers! Good luck on the battlefield.